Okay, thank you everyone for coming this afternoon. So today I will speak about some static tools you can, some tools you can use to do a static analysis on your code base to improve the code quality of a code base. So basically, software quality can be divided into two pillars. So there is functional quality, so if your software is actually doing what it needs to do, and structural quality, which is if your software is reliable or maintainable, if you can actually understand the code. So, for example, I guess my title match is the structural quality, but not the functional quality, since I don't think everybody understood it this morning. I'm sorry. So, why use some tools to do some static analysis? So today in mobile development, deliver great application can be quite a challenge, since we often do many updates, add features, we need to work in a team. So delivering software in this in such constraint can be quite hard. So I think there is outside some tools you can use to actually help you to improve your code quality, and this is what I want to show you today. So just for information, I worked the last year as lead developer for a big banking application in France, and so I want also to share my experience on this subject with you. So the first one, do you know Checkstyle? Yes? Okay, cool. So basically, you define a set of rules and you check if your code is matching those rules. So it can be great to check if your code is the same for everybody in the team. For example, you can check if every public method are commented. It's very important, since every developer can understand the code of other people, since everybody uses the same rules. So I will show you how you can use it through Gradle and through Unreal Studio. So, sorry, we're going to do something here. So here is a project, a GitHub project on my GitHub, so you can see it. So Vincent Brison on GitHub. The thing is, so I have basically my app module and a directory called config. And inside I have a directory called quality and a quality Gradle file. So let's check what it is inside. So you can see that I use Gradle plugin Checkstyle, Feinbergs, and PMD. So I will comment that later. So first of all, Checkstyle. So there is no very complicated stuff here. Just okay, take the config file here. So Checkstyle works also with a second file, which is a suppress file, just to say, okay, I don't want to check those specific files. Like for Android, you do not want to check air.java because obviously it doesn't match anything. And this is globally also. So let's write something and see how Checkstyle works. So for example, I have my main activity here. Okay. And let's write a public function without documentation. And let's run Checkstyle. So basically, here it is. So the thing is with Checkstyle, did you saw the keynote from this morning about Gradle and Gradle task? Maybe. They were saying that Checkstyle is generating XML files, which is not very readable for humans, so it can be hard to read. So as you see, there are some issue, and I can see it here. Okay. Let's take the navigator. Okay, so this is quite hard to understand, and I don't want to read XML. So you can really speed up the use of Checkstyle using the plugin for Android Studio. So there's a trick, because the last version of the Checkstyle plugin is not working on the last version of Android Studio, so you need to download the old version. So I think this is the 4.14, but this one is working actually quite well. And so you have a tab for Checkstyle, and you can just run in directly on new projects. And this is pretty cool, because you can just double-click and go directly to the issue in your code. So this is quite easy to check the style into your application. Okay, let's go to the next tool. So Feinbergs. Do you know Feinbergs? No? Okay, so Feinbergs, is a static analysis tools for Java, and it analyzes bytecode and is able to recognize some bug patterns, and after the analysis it provides you HTML reports with all the things it found into your code. So with Feinbergs you can find for example NPE or bug patterns, and I will show you one for example. So let's go back to Android Studio, and okay, just we can see something here. So for example, I have this function. So this function is taking a parameter bar and is reassessing it. So obviously there is something wrong here. Are you agree? Because in Java you cannot do that actually, because the parameter of the function are passed by a copy of the reference of the real object. So if you do that, bar inside this function will point to effectively a new object, but the parameter will still point to the old object. And Feinbergs actually can saw that, and it can tell you, hey, this is something wrong here. So just take a look at the configuration of Feinbergs. So this is not very complicated. Just extend Feinbergs task. I'm just saying basically that it should fail, and I just passing the config files, and the report should be in HTML. So let's run Feinbergs and see what's happened. I think here it is. So Feinbergs can be a bit longer to execute because it needs your bytecode. So this is not like Checkstyle, which can run directly to your Java files. This one needs compilation. And as you can see here in the Feinbergs tags, I add the dependency to assembly-debug to have actually the bytecode. So okay, an issue. And this is cool because Feinbergs actually have HTML reports, which is pretty readable. And so what do we have here? Okay, so this is exactly what I was saying. The parameter is dead opponent tree, but overwritten. So you cannot do that in Java, and Feinbergs can actually find bugs like that and tell you, hey, there is something wrong here. Okay, nothing more for Feinbergs. Let's move to the next one. PMD. Do you know PMD? Yes? Okay. I think you can use PMD on more languages than Java, so maybe it is for that. It doesn't have really a name. That's pretty funny. So, but basically, PMD is doing the same job than Feinbergs, but it is working without bytecode, so it is it can be more quicker. But this is the two tools, Feinbergs and PMD, share the same goals. So it can be good to use the both because they can detect a bit different issues. Just a quick example and the review of the Gradle configuration. So for PMD, the same things, not complicated. You should fail if you find issues. I define, okay, so the same way I just say, hey, you should not use the default rules, use the one from this file. And this can be a bit tricky. You have to write that to say do not use ever the default rule sets, because however, if you just provide your own rule set, it will still use the default one. And obviously you do not want to do that. So you have to add that. It's pretty well, but it's working like that. The cool thing is that PMD can also generate XML, so you can actually read the report. And let's trigger PMD with a classic error. So just, oh, I forget to call the super. And again, this is very simple to call PMD from the command line. Here it is. And obviously, it will fade. I didn't do the Gradle optimization I saw this morning, so this is a bit slow. Okay, so the report is already here. And okay, so you use imports and my super call, which is not called here. So as you can see, it is pretty easy to run those tools. So one more thing about static analysis tools. I think you know the next one pretty well, Android lint. You all already use it. So it is the same concept. And you can also configure it from your Gradle files and alongside with Checkstyle, Feinbergs, and PMD. The cool thing about lint is it is dedicated to Android, at least Android lint, and it can also check your resources, like do you provide all the densities for images, or are there resources that you do not use in your application? And obviously you should remove it. I will not run it. I think we do not need that. Just one thing. So I also configure Android lint in the same file. This way I have all the configuration in the same file. Yes, so I would like to show you this. So what I am saying here is just the task check should depend on the task Checkstyle, Feinbergs, PMD, and lint. So this way I just need to call the task check, and all the quality check, Checkstyle, Feinbergs, PMD, and lint, will be run. And it can be pretty useful. For example, you could use it you could use it directly from a command line, but you can, for example, put it in hooks with Git. So before you are committing, you can trigger those tools. I think a better way of using those tools can be on your continuous integration service. For example, in my current company, we are working with Gerrit to do the Git reviews and with Jenkins to do the application buildings and test on the application. And to have, do you know Gerrit? So this is sort of GitLab or GitHub. The goal is to be able to review commits before actually pushing them into the main repository. So another people is able to look at my work and say, okay, we can, this is cool, you can push it to the main repository. And actually, for the commit to go to the main repository, we also need that Jenkins says this commit is also good for the quality. So Jenkins will build the application, and Jenkins can run tests, can run the check. And this is pretty easy to run because you just need to call this simple command line. Okay, so yes, I was just saying you can use also this on Travis. This is, you can run command line from Travis also. So if you have GitHub projects, you can link your GitHub projects with Travis CI, which is free for open source projects. And you are able this way to automatically run tests for your project. For example, I have a caching library for Android on GitHub, and it is linked to a Travis CI server. And each time I push a commit or someone asks for a merge request, those commits will be reviewed in Travis, and I have directly the result to know, okay, all the tests pass, all the quality checks are good. I can review it and see if it looks good. And one last thing about those tools. So the last years, as I was saying, I did work as lead developer in a big Android project, 1 year of development for a bank application, and we use a lot Checkstyle for each commit should pass Checkstyle. But about Feinbergs and PMD, those tools are a bit longer to execute than Checkstyle, and just we use them more like, okay, we will run it at each release or each month to check if there is pretty severe issues. So the two tools we always use are Checkstyle and Lint, because Lint have a pretty useful check for the resources. You can find all the explanation on my website. There is an article about those tools and the GitHub project which is going with this article. Thank you.